And this should be fun.
Yeah, Dan Musser actually in a quick game 1 took a game from Shaheen, so he's up a game right now. But we're going to bring you onto this board state, and one of the card we were excited about.
Tell me you don't love it. Try. Tell me you don't love it.
I mean, yeah, okay. Shaheen has Notion Thief in play. Again.
Look at this. Entreat the Angels. 2 tokens, but Soorani has a G.
I just want to point, this is strange. This is not normally what you see in a Miracle Stoneblade matchup is, you know, Notion Thief and Umuzao's Jite slaying an angel army. That's, like, Jite I don't even always see in, like, Dan doesn't play creatures.
That might not be normal for you. That's probably normal for Shaheen. Tell you what. He's going to get a batter skull off that Stoneforge Mystic. Already got the Jite in play. You see the Notion Thief. Whole bunch of lands in play for Shaheen. Among them is a Caracas. For Dan, he's got his Volcanic Island. He's got a couple Tundras, a couple basics over there as well. We'll see what Shaheen wants to do on this turn. Looks like he may cast this Batter Skull. Interesting, as he's tapping a bunch of mana. He just wants to move over the equipment onto the Stoneforge Mystic and happy to pass the turn back.
No, and all joking aside, don't get me wrong, Umuzao's Jite is really good here and actually is very likely could win the game for Shaheen.
It's keeping it alive. I mean, look, it's Jite. Like, we can't undersell Jite. Maybe the best equipment of all time. It might be like a tie between that and Batter Skull.
When both players have creatures and one player has Jite, then usually by the next turn it ends up with one player has creatures and the other player has Jite.
Yes.
Or the same player has Jite, yeah.
Discard spell? Discard spell's Thoughtseize. Shaheen wants to see what Dan has. Counterspell and Tundra. Looks like Counterspell's going to go to the bin. Tundra's going to be the only card left there for Musser. You saw him play an Arid Mesa last turn. Shaheen will deploy a Tundra of his own.
All right.
See what else he wants to do here.
No real help there for Musser. And if you look at how this game's played out, it actually looks like, you know, a large amount of exiled cards on both sides. You see their graveyards there. Some Lingering Souls having been exiled for Soorani. Possibly we had a Rest in Peace earlier in this game. That is a card that Musser can board into.
There's the old Beast Skull. That goes right on through the Stoneforge Mystic, and now it's time to equip and beat down. How dare you judge Notion Thief?
He's a 7/5 now.
Yeah.
Vigilance lifelink, you can't draw extra cards.
Who wins that war? How about that?
Yeah, this 7-power Notion Thief or this 6 life total player.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
Let's see what Dan draws this turn. We'll find out.
And we see if Dan can draw to stay, and he's going to need something like Terminus here. So I'll start with top. But the problem is he can't Miracle top. If he finds a Terminus, he can't Miracle it, because if he tries to draw a card on Shaheen's turn, instead of getting the Terminus or this Entreat, he's going to tap it and Shaheen's going to draw a card.
Shaheen's going to say, go ahead and take a look at that.
You should read this. There are no miracles here.
And that's it, my friend.
Little known fact, Notion Thief stops a lot of the plays from the Miracles deck.
Notion Thief is pretty sweet. Dan Musser is going to concede the game. Shaheen is going to win game number 2. That means we get to watch the third game between these two great players, Miracles, Esper Stoneblade, and that means we get to take a look at the sideboard. You've got Musser's in front of you. What do you see?
All right, well, remember, these players had already boarded for game 2, but let's look at the kind of ways that he would adapt to fight the Esper Stoneblade strategy. 2 Rest in Peace, that card is great in this matchup. From Dan Musser's side, his game plan is going to be to get down a counterbalance here. This is one of the matchups where it's very good. The things he has to worry about for out of Shaheen's deck are cards like Lingering Souls, Jace the Mind Sculptor, and dare I say Notion Thief?
Yeah, you're about to.
I don't know. I'm not. Yeah, okay. He'll have to keep his swords in for the Stoneforge Mystics, and yeah, I guess the Notion Thief. No, but in all seriousness, I think the cards that he wants here are the uncounterable things and the things that can remove Jace. So for Jace, he gets cards like Council's Judgment, which can be pretty good here. I think he wants stuff like Venser, Shaper, Savant is generally just a powerful card in matches where you have time. I think Rest in Peace, the 2 of comes in. They help deal with Lingering Souls. Red Elemental Blast can help win counter wars. Supreme Verdict can get rid of creatures and is uncounterable. It's probably can be used here as well. And finally, I don't think he uses Entreat the Angels as much in this matchup. It's really more about a control lock.
2 Engineering Explosives. 2 Notion Thieves. You see the copies of Rest in Peace, 3 of those, a Blue Blast, a Disenchant, Force Will, 2 Spell Pierce, 2 Cabal Therapy, and a Perish. Stories of that Perish against Chris Van Meter playing Elves today. Chris wasn't too thrilled about that, so there is that. I expect to see the Therapies come in here. Spell Pierce could certainly be okay. We obviously know the Notion Thieves are there, and maybe the additional Force Will. I expect Shaheen to have Disenchant as well, just to take care of, counterbalance. I've already watched him play against Chi Hui Yin this weekend in this matchup, as well as Brian Braun to win, and he had Disenchant against both of those players, so I expect to see it here as well. I imagine that Shaheen is actually pretty comfortable after sideboard against Miracles. He actually got crushed pretty quickly. I imagine if Musser beat him that fast in game 1, it involved Entreat the Angels.
Yeah, Entreat the Angels, maybe a counter top lock, and then an Entreat the Angels. Public enemy number 1 is counter top in this matchup, so Disenchant definitely works, especially because Shaheen's going to be on the draw for game 3. He's really going to need these Spell Pierce in the deck, so I think those will come in as well. We do, exactly as you said, Cabal Therapy, we saw him use it already in his win in it, so...
We'll see if we can get an update for you guys at home for our other match between Death and Taxes and Blue White Red Delver. Don't have an update just yet on that, but I imagine they're in the 2nd or 3rd game at this point. Again, Jack Kitchen's already through with Imperial Painter. He's going to play the winner of this match between Musser and Soorani. And then Ross Merriam very quickly defeated James Rinkovitz. Elves moving on to the semifinals to play against the winner of Death and Taxes and Blue White Red Delver.
Yeah.
And we do have a quick update for you guys, and Mike Derzo with Death and Taxes is currently up a game against Blue White Red Delver.
Remember, and because of how the standings shaped up, normally when players start out with 8-0 in a 10-round tournament, they start drawing, but Derzo couldn't do so, and he just went the distance instead. 9-0, and just grabbed the number 1 seed.
Oh, he earned it. He certainly earned it. No argument to be had there.
He is the only undefeated player in the tournament.
Giving those beatdowns with Death and Taxes. Legacy, one could argue Legacy's most fair deck, giving the beatdowns with.
Yeah.
It's made a believer out of me. I'm not even kidding. It was unbelievable to me at first, and then it just kept winning, and it kept winning, and it continues to keep winning and making top 8s. It's made a believer out of me.
It's a bunch of planes.
It is a deck you would never play.
So many planes and so few colors that do unfair things.
The chances of me playing High Tide are probably greater than the chances of you ever playing Death and Taxes.
Yeah, I mean, if I wanted to play a fair deck, I would at least want to put Brainstorm in it.
Don't need no Brainstorm.
Yeah.
Thalia, baby. That Brainstorm costs 2. Don't need no Brainstorm.
Yeah, I mean, it's bad with your Thalia, so you better not play Brainstorm.
That's right. It's going to be between Notion Thief and Death and Taxes. I got some work to do on you. That's all right. We got a long night. I'll make a believer. Shaheen is going to make a believer.
Just 4 Notion Thief, 4 Shadow of Doubt after board. Just get me every time I try to do something.
Yeah, Shaheen's going to make a believer out of you with Notion Thief. You'll see. Looks like he's got a mulligan here very quickly, though. Not a believer in his hand. Let's see if Musser likes what he's looking at.
Yeah, it looks like he is going to keep on 7.
Yeah. Shaheen with an insta-mulligan. Did not like anything with his hand. So 6 cards here coming for the Esper Master.
Remember, the winner of this gets to play next round against Jack Kitchen playing Imperial Painter.
I imagine, well, for Musser, I know the match was good. I ended up playing Painter at an open in Seattle earlier this year, and I ended up getting a draw kind of early in the tournament and played against Miracles twice, and boy, was that matchup not fun, not good, not anything. It's very hard to win unless you kind of combo them out early because your Blood Moon effects are so poor against them. So I imagine Jack is probably rooting for Shaheen here, as Blood Moon is quite good against Shaheen's deck.
Yeah, Blood Moon is good against Shaheen's deck. That matchup probably could go either way. I think his early plays are pretty good, but at the same time, Shaheen does have a lot of the same control deck elements that Musser has that makes the matchup tough. So that one, you know, he'd be cheering for Soorani to win for sure. But
and Shaheen does have 4 basics, 2 islands, a plains, and a swamp, so not impossible. So he does give the thumbs up over to Musser. So game number 3 underway here. Dan will lead with an island, but no top. All right. Shaheen will draw. There's a Flooded Strand, and here's a Thoughtseize, the discard package.
Great start for Shaheen. No top. And if there was going to be a turn 2 counterbounce, I was going to say he will just take it. Yeah. But hold on. Thoughtseize only takes 1 card, not 2.
Kind of crazy thing is, in Shaheen's right now, he actually has a copy of Cabal Therapy. So in most circumstances, I imagine he's okay seeing doubles. This is not one of them, as he can only take one counterbalance, can't take them both.
Now, all right, I'm going to go back up here. Shaheen had a chance to be a master right here, thinking Dan didn't keep a hand with top in it. That's strange. There has to be counterbalance in his hand, and he could have just blind therapied counterbalance.
That would have been something.
How dejected would you be if you were Dan Musser and Shaheen just let up on therapy naming counterbalance right here?
Yeah. I would be very impressed.
Just throw your cards.
Yeah. I would be very, very impressed. But when you have a Thoughtseize to lead the way so you can make sure you hit with your therapy.
No time. He'll cast his counterbalance before you get the chance.
Yeah.
You just have to go for broke, man.
Now, I don't know what Shaheen takes, actually. You see him play the 2 counterbalances. Come on. I wanted to snag one of those. You're only supposed to have one. Now he's got to probably pick between one of the singletons.
If he can't kill one counterbalance, there's not too much danger in giving Dan a second one. But
he's going to take the Vendilion Click. Going to leave Dan with 2 counterbalances, a Wear Tear, a Flooded Strand, and a Venser. Musser draws a Scalding Tarn for the turn.
What Shaheen has going for him is that Dan doesn't have any deck manipulation right now, so Shaheen's going to have to just run some threats into this counterbalance and hope that Dan doesn't have the right CMC on top to deal with it. And that's like a pretty okay chance for Shaheen to take. Blind hitting off counterbalances is not the easiest thing.
Yeah, it's just, it's the most uneasy feeling in the world, and it's pretty dejecting when you feel dejected when you get destroyed by a blind counterbalance flip. Here's a Brainstorm.
What would you say is the the worst mana cost you've gotten blind counterbalanced by? You know, something like you cast a 4 and they flipped their Venser, or something like that.
Probably a 5 when they turn over Force of Will, but a 6 also when they turn over Terminus, and then they kill your board.
I have had a blind Terminus counter a Time Spiral before. That was really, and it was like game 1, so I'm like, oh, hey, Terminus, sweet, okay, I'm sad.
Yeah. It can definitely happen. I mean, it never feels good. It feels like a gut punch when they take care of whatever. When you cast something and they have a naked counterbalance. It feels terrible. But Shaheen's Brainstorm has to resolve through counterbalance, and now he's going to cast Cabal Therapy, which he knows is going to be resolving as well, and he's got quite a bit of information. Only one mystery card over there for Musser, again, which is the Scalding Tarn. So, we'll see what Shaheen names in just a moment. Again, I don't think he's going to name counterbalance.
Yep.
He will name a Venser, Shaper Savant.
I really like that. So what I think Shaheen's going to try to do, his game plan is going to be to stick Stoneforge Mystic and or Lingering Souls, maybe both. Get it down early, hope that it sneaks by counterbalance, and then win with the threats that he made there. The reason he would want to take Venser is no matter what threat he resolves, Venser can knock it back off the board. So if Dan, say, finds a Divining Top, that Venser is just gold because he'll be able to stop whatever Shaheen makes from coming back down. Good pick by Shaheen. He has a coherent game plan. It remains to be seen if it will work.
Yeah, there's no guarantee it'll work. But Shaheen, he just has to cast the spells, hope they resolve, and move forward accordingly. Now, one thing the Musser can do here is because he has 2 counterbalances in play, when Shaheen casts a spell, he puts both counterbalance triggers on the stack, resolves one. If it misses, he can sacrifice the fetch land and resolve the other one and hope to hit.
Yeah. I think whether or not he'll do that depends on how likely he counters this. Like, Shaheen's going to go for a 3 here with Lingering Souls. He can make that play, but he's got 1 Vendilion Click. He already has 1 click in the graveyard, and those are his only 3s. Be very aggressive to make that play, but he might have to do it anyway.
Now let's see what happens with this Lingering Souls. You see Dan thinking about it. He knows the Brainstorm's on top of his deck. Brainstorm's like pretty good card.
You want a second chance on a 2-outer? Like, I think you just want the Brainstorm. You'll have to find another way to beat the Lingering Souls.
Yeah, and he says, that's fine. You get your Spirit Tokens. So that's good to go. And that looks to be Shaheen's turn. Now, 1 card that's in Shaheen's hand is Jace the Mind Sculptor. As Dan does draw a copy of Brainstorm. We'll see if he's going to cast it now or not. There's a second fetch land, Scalding Tarn. Pass the turn back. Again, Shaheen knows all the contents in Dan's hand. Wear Tear and Brainstorm.
Imagine Wear Tear is just Brainstorm fodder right now. No artifacts in play for Shaheen. See what Shaheen decides to go for, though.
He's going to lead the way with Inquisition. I like that.
Well, it's time for a Brainstorm, I think. Well, let's see if it... Oh, or not.
That's easier.
First, let's see if we're lucky. Turns out we are.
Yeah, just have the right card. That's so much easier. Here's an attack for 2. Musser's going to go down to 17. Shaheen's going to flashback Lingering Souls. We think. He thought about it. And And you're going to do it.
And it's going to get countered. So remember, Lingering Souls, even though you pay 2 to flash it back, has a converted mana cost of 3. And when flipped, a fused card has the converted mana cost of both halves added together, I believe. So Wear Tear should, when put on top, be able to counter this Lingering Souls.
Dan going to shuffle his hand in.
Yeah, I believe this is going to work.
There's also an Entreat the Angels here. That actually makes this much easier because Entreat's mana cost is 3. So if Wear Tear doesn't work the way that we believe it does, that's okay. He's got a 3. There's the Angels. He'll take care of that.
Yeah. I know that when you flip Wear Tear off Dark Confidant, you take both halves put together. So
yeah, it's the old hit run rule.
Oh god. Yeah, that is where I know that one from. That was great. What was that? 8?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, that was great.
This is going to be for 2. It's a miracle Entreat the Angels. Dan going to take 2 to do this. But now he's going to have 2 4/4s in play. You see him get a Volcanic, and there's a Tundra.
Yeah, and this is the neat part. So he has a couple counterbalances. Can't establish counterbalance lock. There is always that plan B for Miracles where you just make a couple early Angels and ride those to victory. A lot of players against Miracles really don't keep in that much removal. I mean, they don't play that many creatures. So sometimes just a pair of 4/4s is enough to win the game.
And we know who wins this war. Between 4/4s and Spirit Tokens. The Angels reign supreme. That's part of the reason I think Shaheen had GTA in his deck still after sideboard. To work his way through the 4/4s, and it actually worked in the last game, so.
Yeah, it works against these value entreats like we see. And when I say value, I mean maybe 2 or 3. So when Dan sometimes just makes a couple and tries to ride it to victory, GTA's a great card.
Shaheen's going to cast a Brainstorm. We are checking with counterbalance. You fail.
Boom. 2 second blind counterbalance hit. And counterbalance is just such a great card in this matchup for the Miracles player. You see, even when he doesn't have the top, this card is all sorts of problems for Shaheen.
Trust me when I say, if you've never been on the receiving end of this, it is infuriating. Hoping your spell's resolved. And here comes an attack for 8 because this is a 2-turn clock. Shaheen will draw a card. That's the 4th land. He does have a Jace. And we have been informed very quickly that when you do turn over a split card, be it Wear and Tear, it has a casting cost of 1 or 2, but it is not 3. So Dan actually finding the Entreat the Angels there was quite fortunate for 2 reasons. 1, he gets the counter to the flashback and Lingering Souls, and 2, he's given the beatdowns. Let's see if Shaheen goes for Jace here. He's going to start by casting Cabal Therapy. I like this. He wants to see if the coast is clear. Let's see what this is. Oh, no. That's another Entreat the Angels.
He does have a Brainstorm here, so if he can put a 1 on top of his deck if he wants. On the other hand, having that Entreat on top of his deck is a pretty nice thing and might be worth whatever card Shaheen takes.
Now, the Therapy hasn't been countered yet. There are 2 counterbalance triggers on the stack. The first one resolved. It showed Entreat the Angels. Well, that's not a 1, but Dan can respond.
Right.
And he will. And he says, hold, uh-oh. Now we're getting crafty.
Now, it's time. It's the 3-1.
It might be time for Notion
here
Thief.
He comes.
Yep.
Oh, here he comes. Dan.
Oh, yes.
The news is, Dan, because he's putting his entire hand on top of his deck, even though Cabal Therapy doesn't matter anymore, Dan can counter it if he puts the swords on top.
Look at this.
Not actually great news, but all right, all the cards, there they go. Ship them on top.
Well, he can respond to this. You know, obviously Notion Thief is on the Brainstorm's on the stack. Notion Thief is now being cast. Again, it's not going to be countered from the top of the deck. He can Swords this. That's going to go away. And now Brainstorm has the ability to resolve.
All right. So it's not going to be the super blowout that we wanted it to be.
We would like for it to be, but unfortunately it is not.
So my question here actually is Dan could put back a 1 on top of his deck to counter the Therapy, or he could just let Entreat be on top of his deck and make some more Angels next turn.
Yeah, and he can just let this resolve comfortably.
Yeah, just keep some card in his hand that he doesn't particularly like. I mean, now that he's brainstormed, it's not like Shaheen's going to have to be a pretty good guesser to make this Therapy do anything.
So we'll see what card he does name here in just a moment. And Dan says, yeah, your Therapy resolves. So pick a card if you'd like. Again, you see the red blast over there. There's also still the Wear Tear in hand. And I believe Entreat's probably on top of the deck. So we'll see if Shaheen's in the process of naming a card here.
He knows about the wear tear, but then again, he doesn't really want to name wear tear. It doesn't do anything. So Shaheen is really stabbing in the dark with this Cabal Therapy.
Yeah, there's the potential that he put the wear tear, you know, back on top of his deck. You know, the second card down, because I imagine he's going to leave Entreat on top of the deck a high percentage of the time in this situation. Dan will show the grip. Again, Red Blast, wear tear. This is Jace. Bounce that and give the most awkward handshake maybe in recorded history.
Yeah, I think he's like, oh, Jace, I lose. He's like, wait, I'm actually alive. I only go to 3.
Well,
and he's like,
oh, it's a fake handshake.
It's a fake handshake.
Yes, okay,
Yes,
that's the real handshake. Oh, that was amazing.
I think he thought he was just dead to it. He's like, wait, I'm not dead. Hold on, let me draw a card. Okay, now I'm dead.
I think he was expecting that to be Entreat the Angels, make 2 Angels. Truth be told,
it's all the same.
it's all the same, right? Jace
Right.
bounce your token, you can't do anything about it. Entreat the Angels, make 2 more Angels, you can't do anything about it. As awkward as the handshake is, it's a pretty straightforward game. Dan Musser is moving on. He'll be playing against Jack Kitchen. So Musser is going to get paired against Imperial Painter here in the semifinals. Congratulations to him. Shaheen, obviously a great run, but more importantly, Shaheen, thank you for that very awkward handshake.